Hello, beautiful souls. I'm kind of thinking this voice memo that I'm creating right now is going to be my first ever podcast. And it's always been a thought that I've pondered. But life and lack of boundaries, amongst other things, have led me down an interesting path, and the experiences that I went through tried to take away my voice, my freedom of expression, and so much more of me that I know is just in my nature, it's in my soul, and I have now learned that only I can, really hold on to that and keep strong and keep my open mind and my open heart and understand that I can practice discernment, and it is safe to have boundaries, and it's safe to be me and to share that joy with others. I hope my phone doesn't die before I finish what I want to record here, but I'm sitting at this beautiful location, currently watching birds mating. I saw 2 hawks dancing in the sky. One was chittering and one was squawking very loudly. And I'm not sure what type of birds these are, but the female is like a brownish color and the male is dark black, and he's spreading his wings out, his tail, and looks like he's gonna dance for her, but she's not paying him any mind, and I think he's a little weary. A little weary of me. Oh, there he goes. He's currently dancing. Now I feel like this is not a podcast about animals. But I don't know what I'll call my podcast, but I'm very, very passionate. Like this guy is over here. He's very passionate to mate with this beautiful woman over here, running circles around her as he's all puffed up. But yeah, my podcast is going to be about freedom of expression and truth and any type of holistic guidance I choose to share, or I'm always open to ideas of what you want to learn, something you're more interested in than not. And I'm interested in mostly all things that pertain to holistic, spiritual, anything that is just on that wavelength of connecting to all parts of ourself, our mind, body, and soul. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. My name is Samantha, and I usually go by Sam. That's what my friends call me. And my business name is Sam the Body Worker, because I do a lot of different things. I'm very multifaceted, and I enjoy massage therapy. I am a Reiki master. I am a certified yoga teacher. And I have held ceremonies of different types. So yeah, it's just very magical to be alive at this time. And I've always known that I am a student for life. I love learning information, sharing information. And so I'm very excited about this journey, being able to speak out loud more and talk more about the things that fascinate me, because I've always felt the best teachers are the best students are the ones that can teach what they're learning. And also, the best teachers are also the best students. So with that, I feel like I never want to stop learning and growing for knowledge and sharing it with others, because there's so much disinformation in the world and so much, I guess, how do you say it? Like one-sidedness, where I'm just going to come out and say it, where things like Western medicine will tell you the only cure is a pill. Things like that. That's definitely what you'll hear me talk about at certain aspects of things, and give more size to a perspective, or maybe shift your perspective about something, or maybe it'll blow your mind in some aspects, but overall, do your own research. If you doubt something and you feel that doubt within you, it could be something that's really true. And that doubt, that doubt in something can lead you to something else. And I don't know if you've ever gone to search for certain information and you just fall down this rabbit hole, like, whoa, this is happening in the world, or, oh, this is the truth about this here. And so that is very much who I am. Very much a Alice, just wanting to fall down the rabbit hole over and over to see what vibrations exist on this planet, and what, possibly needs to be cleansed and shifted, and brought awareness to. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I have always been on a search for knowledge and always wanted to share that knowledge, was because awareness is so powerful. It goes hand in hand with knowledge is power. And, the more you know, the more you can grow as a person, as a soul, and be able to not just shift this life, not just shift where you are now, but shift a whole lifetime. So, and I said shift a whole lifetime, but shift a whole lineage, a whole legacy, a whole times to come. You can shift the future by shifting the now. And so as we're talking about shifts and shifting, and one thing I want to kind of talk about, and what kind of inspired this download per se, this stepping out of my comfort zone to a whole other degree. It's Cancer season now. Today's June 20th. It's also summer solstice, Cancer season, and the Capricorn Full Moon, and feeling that intense time to get uncomfortable if you want to really shift things in your life type of energy. I just made a ginormous, it's not really that big, but for me, and how much doubt I have continued to put myself in, especially on a business mind level, it was a big decision. And it was also an investment in myself and my health and my family's health. And anyways, making this big decision, I used the power of choice to say, I'm no longer going to let the doubt and the fear rule my life. I'm just gonna jump right in, get super uncomfortable because this decision made me very uncomfortable to the point where most of my normal tools were not shaking the anxiety. We're not doing this and that until it was like, okay, this is real and this is my new frequency. And so being able to make that uncomfortable decision and say no more has really opened my eyes to why I feel it's so important to manifest in the vibration of joy and positive, like ecstatic excitement, you know, and why that's always been a thing of mine. And it's interesting to see how some people say, oh, it's so exhausting for me to be just happy all the time and to be bubbly and to, like, you know, everything is just making me angry, and I'm gonna stay in this angry vibration because being happier is harder. And I guess I can understand that, especially if you're very much, you know, depressed or anxious or anything. That can really take its toll, especially on our serotonin levels and such. But for me, it's the opposite. Like, to be angry, it's a lot harder. It's a little bit easier than it was in the past because I'm very, I guess, firm in my boundaries, and if those get crossed, especially consciously, I'm just like, what? Who the, you know, that sort of vibe, because, you know, we expect communication, and I always feel that should be reciprocated, as, you know, but it's understandable that it's harder for others. And so shifting back to what I was talking about with remaining in a positive vibration, manifesting that positive vibration, magnetizing it. So it's like, you know, you can fake it till you make it to a certain point, but if you keep faking it till you make it and you just keep going back to what you're not doing when you're faking it, you know, the real, and you're not shifting that real part of you, then you're going to magnetize the same things. That's where you're going to see the patterns and the repeated, you know, like an example to use is a woman that's looking for men in her life, or a partner. It could be anybody looking for a partner. We won't use genders here. Anybody looking for a partner, whether it be just a friend would benefit type of thing, or you're looking for an actual relationship, but you're sitting in the same energy of, I will never find this person, I will never find da 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 da, or you're still being in that negative energy and everyone I'm meeting is hopeless, instead of, you know, saying in the positive, uplifting, you know, one day this person will come along. And then one magic trick of manifesting is literally painting a picture. Like, I would love my future love or the soulmate I want to manifest to have the same interest of me, to be into astrology, and eventually one day want kids but want to travel first. You know, you can paint that picture of who you want to bring into your life, especially as you go through, you know, meeting all these people. And I think that's the kind of, what's it called, like, cycle that people get stuck in, is they're constantly thinking about what they don't want instead of what they do want. So you're like, oh, I definitely don't want this flaky person, but yet you keep magnetizing flaky people. Maybe you're flaky as well, so you're gonna magnetize what you give out type of energy. So yeah, that's just an example of that power of choice, that power of shifting your vibration. And you could call it high vibration, you could call it positive, you can, you know, we try not to be black and white around here. Like, there's more than just good and bad. And, you know, I think what also comes to me is that sadness and anger, you know, sadness, rage, anger, what else? Like, these types of what they would call lower vibrational feelings are not always that. You know, you can cry and still be happy, and even crying because you're sad, you're releasing that. So in turn, you are raising your vibration because you are focusing on yourself and the release that needs to happen. And I feel like anger and rage too, you know, they all have underlying emotions that are connected to them. So, you know, maybe your rage is due to jealousy because your exclusive partner who you don't have an open relationship with is flirting with somebody. So you're like feeling that jealousy, like, whoa, but more like insult because your boundaries are being disrespected. So that can also raise your vibration and allow, how do you say it, and can be very empowering. So having that empowerment to defend your boundaries and say, no, dude, like, you totally disrespected my boundary and what I thought was our boundaries by doing this, this, and this. Therefore, you're empowering yourself by defending yourself and your boundaries and, you know, da-da-da. So, yeah, just different ways to look at the lower and high vibrational arguments, I guess, because I see all these things about like spiritual bypassing and, you know, you have to just be happy all the time and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yes and no, you know, you can choose to do that and you can choose to, you know, take the time to allow yourself to release and I guess more spiritual bypassing for what I, in my perspective of things, what I think spiritual bypassing would be is like literally like ignoring, you know, those feelings of sadness and mad and whatever, and like, you know, I'm so sad, so I'm gonna go drink, or I'm gonna do, you know, this, or I'm so sad, so I'm gonna take a bunch of mushrooms and Molly or something, and like, then I'll be happy, you know, like things like that. It's like, okay, no, you gotta feel your feelings. And, you know, some of us are better at getting past our tears than others, and I think that's where just dipping into your journey and saying, okay, this is what I'm doing, and all goes back to self-awareness and being conscious of your choices. Yeah. Choice is so powerful. Like, you really have every single moment to say, I choose this over this, or I choose myself right now, or I choose my family, and you go to work happily because you know it's going to provide for your family. It's so powerful. And as I sit here in nature, like 20 miles away from the nearest city, there's like an RV and some boats on the water, and literally no one is around me, and I said, I'm so powerful because I chose to be here. I could have, you know, stayed in the city and sat in a cafe and did work that I can do at any time. But right now, I chose to be here, and I chose to be here now. And look at this beautiful download that came through. I'm recording my first podcast and dreaming up other ideas that I could do for a podcast, and allowing conversation with others, and yeah, overall I'm just grateful to be here, and very grateful to be alive, because I choose every single day to be alive for myself, for the evolution of my soul, for my daughter, and for her dad, my partner, and for all the other souls that I will continue to connect with, enlighten, It's been interesting coming to the awareness that I'm a light worker, a grid worker. I see the places where this body has been called to during this lifetime, and how much has shifted in our world. It's really incredible to continue to see that there's kindred spirits and angels everywhere, and we're all making that choice to leave our mark, not just for today but for the future. And sometimes it's scary. It's so scary to be different, to be unique, to think in a different way. And, I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not this crazy, rare snowflake butterfly, but in so many other ways I am. And I'm grateful for that. Above all, I'm grateful to be different, and I choose to be grateful. I choose to tell myself that I am blessed, divinely guided, I am divinely protected. I choose to live in those higher realms of consciousness. I choose not to watch the news that constantly tries to keep our vibration and fear. I won't get into too many details about my work right now, but I go to group homes and visit individuals. But yesterday the news was on, and all you hear is this huge heat wave is coming, this huge heat wave. Be prepared. It's over here, it's over there, it's everywhere. And the tornadoes, over here, and the things, and it's like, wow. It's just really, it's like bad news after bad news after bad news after bad news. We should fear the weather, and and that's definitely a podcast I will talk about. But I have theories and things like, there's so much land in this world. Why would we live where there are so many natural disasters? Why isn't it so easy to be transient and just to say, okay, tornado season is this month and this month, so I'm gonna live somewhere else during that time, and then I'll come back. But that's a big dream that we should fear having, because it's impossible. Anyways, I don't like living in those vibrations. I choose not to watch the news and the chaos and all of it, because I'm already fighting my own battles, you know. I feel like the reason I call myself a frequency warrior is because I know the power of keeping my frequency at a certain level. I know the power of sound, of connecting with natural ground, and the power of just authentically being myself. And I'm a warrior, not just for myself, but for everybody, for the frequency of our whole planet and universe. And by shifting that awareness and thinking of myself in that higher power, my highest self is here embodied, has changed so much within me. And I see how many doors and pathways it has already opened. And I hope and I know that I can maintain the capacity to further anchor in these beautiful shifts and changes and connections, and for that I am grateful. And I hope that you find the time to show gratitude no matter where you are in life. If things seem impossible or hopeless, just know you're not alone. And this is only temporary. And that you too have the power of choice. The power to shift your beliefs. The power to shift your mind, your heart. To truly shift anything. And it may seem hard, it may seem impossible, and sometimes it may seem like a waste of money. But in the end, what matters most is your soul was here at this time, and that you left your beautiful, unique mark, your signature, your essence is here. And as the wind blows, I can feel it. I can feel it all around. We all are fairies in a sense, sprinkling our fairy dust everywhere we go, especially if you make the choice to bring your positive, loving light. If you're walking down the street and you see a smile, I hope you give it back, because those little instances are the beautiful fairy dust that makes our world full of light. Okay, guys, you're all gonna take a deep breath with me, because I am super anxiety now. It's like I just recorded a podcast and we're about to hit 30 minutes, and I'm like, that sounds lovely for the first time. Okay, so just take a second. If you're not already in a comfortable position, either seated, standing, or laying back, and let's just do one breath with our hands open to the sky, breathing in our nose and out of our mouth. Breathe normally as you take your hands hands to your heart, holding yourself close. Or if you want to get even closer, you can give yourself a hug. Breathing in and out. Pausing in through your nose. Hold out through your mouth. In through your nose. And hold out through your mouth. Hold. Breathe in through your nose. And this next exhale, let's sigh it all out. Oh, let's do 2 more. In through your nose. In through your nose. Thank you all for joining me here today. I hope I can keep this beautiful tradition of recording these podcasts out in nature. Now that I think of it, the first master class that I ever did, I recorded out in nature as well. So this is definitely the Virgo vibes that I love. But I'm going to go take an eye at this water over here, and then I'm going to head out back to work. But I love all of you beautiful souls. And I'm just so grateful to be alive at this time, to share knowledge in this life, and to share this infinite, beautiful energy that is older than us. If you think about energy and how it's neither created or destroyed, the energy that is all around us is ancient. Breathe it in and remember who you are, because deep inside your soul knows already, because you took the power of choice before you even came to this planet and said, this is what I'm going to accomplish. And yeah, take care, loves.